Oh, he claims he doesn't have a jersey, which is the biggest lie I've ever heard in my life. That's a kid just trying to get an extra Joe Burrow jersey. Um, but yeah, those are the four. I had to ask that question yesterday. I did not know. Yeah, Burrow, Stormtrooper, and then two people from the Wizard of Oz.
What do you expect Logan Wilson's practice schedule will be like this week?
We'll see how it goes today, but again, he's trending the right way. So I don't want to make any predictions about full practice or anything like that because this will be the first day he gets out there and gets a chance to go through some stuff. But uh, it's he's going to get out there and get a chance to work.
What do you need to see from him throughout the week in order to have him feel good?
I mean, I'm encouraged by everything I've heard so far, and so we'll get through these next couple days and um, see where it goes.
How did Jamar come out of that game Sunday? It looked like he kind of had that hip deal. How is he going to be throughout the
I
week?
think just sore. So we'll see. We'll take it day to day with all these guys that came out of the game. Trey Hendrickson falls in that category as well. Um, but the guys that we're getting back now are Jeff Gunter. We'll be able to do some practice this week, and then Logan, like you said, we'll start to practice back this week.
Do you anticipate Jamar practicing at all today?
Today, probably not. But again, we're gonna take these guys through the week and see how they go.
Nice to have that extra day. Nice to have that extra
It's
day.
for all of us. That was easy.
You're talking about Jamar. Joe's talking a lot about him versus man. What are the qualities that make Jamar so good against man coverage?
Speed, strength, awareness. Those are three pretty good factors right there. Because they have to honor the fact that he can run by him over the top. He's also strong enough to where he can stack guys even when they're trying to wall him off to the sidelines. But then he also has the body control and understanding to be able to re-engage on some of those back shoulder throws. So it's tough. They've worked a lot of different looks in anticipation of this kind of stuff happening, where he's got a man and a half on top of him, and it's fun to watch.
Sam Hubbard said if you created a perfect running back, you'd probably create Nick Chubb. Do you kind of agree? And what qualities do you think make him kind of that prototypical guy that you want?
He's a great football player. He's a great football player. Really difficult to stop. He's powerful. He has great acceleration. It's like he's got video game superpowers where all of a sudden you contact him, he gets faster. It's almost like that's a boost of energy for him, where he accelerates on contact and is able to finish runs like that. He's got great balance. Obviously, he has really good vision. So I think those are all traits that belong to him. And then on top of that, he's got a great offensive line. And those guys do a really good job with the different schemes, giving him opportunities, and then he maximizes those opportunities. So it's a tough unit.
Under Stefanski, what makes Cleveland such a tough matchup for y'all?
Well, they run the ball well, not just against us, but versus everybody, and then they have all the things that come off of that. So when you're in um, some of these heavier personnel groupings per se, they've always done a good job with their tight ends. It puts you in binds because you're taking, you're putting bigger people on the field oftentimes, and because they run the ball so well, and then they're pushing the ball vertically down the field after play actions, they're nakeds, and so they create space that way. Um, they create discipline issues in terms of your run fits and your coverage responsibilities, and that's where they get a lot of explosives from, and they do a good job with their play action screens. Their screen game is they do a great job with that as well. So it's just it's a really good football team. You're asking specifically about the offense. It's a really good offense, and they can be very tough to defend.
The edge rushers that Cleveland has, I mean, what kind of problem does that pose for you guys, especially when you have one guy on one end and one on the other?
Yep.
You can't really ID one of them.
Yep. I mean, they're two of the best. They're an outstanding tandem together. Cause a lot of issues. They just have so much talent on their defense overall. The speed is what jumps out to you first. You look at all those guys in the secondary, starting with them. Got a lot of respect for John Johnson and Delpit, two really good safeties. And then they've got a lot of corners that they've played. If you're talking about um, Denzel, Greedy, Newsom, um, Martin Emerson has played in there too. They do a really good job. They utilize their safeties. Ronnie Harrison comes in and plays in some different roles. And then I know they've dealt with some injuries at linebacker, but it's a fast group. It's a good group. It's now they got Deion Jones jumping in there with Taki and Jeremiah. So they just it's a really good group. That's fast. They make a lot of plays. And then you got the guys you're mentioning on all the guys in front of them that 95 and 90 cause as many problems as any defensive end duo out there, and you got to be aware of them at all times.
When you look at those defensive backs, I know Ward's kind of banged up right now in the protocol, but with him, what makes him so tough in those specific matchups?
Tighten coverage, really tighten coverage, good feet, good awareness, good speed, plays the ball really well. Really good corner, really good corner.
It's one thing it's one thing to talk about having a short memory and just looking ahead, but when a division team has won 4 in a row against you, how do you keep that from creeping into the mindset, or do you use that?
Not so much. It's focusing on the now. This year, what team we have now, and going on the road and getting our first divisional win. And that's, again, we always talk about those things where, we have to play well in this division to allow ourselves the opportunities later in the year. We're 0-2 right now, and so this is one that we need to go and play well and find a way to get a win on the road.
How can the run game neutralize or at least diminish the impact of Garrett and obviously their other defensive ends?
Well, they don't have a chance to get sacks. That takes away some of their opportunities, but they're still good against the run. They're violent at the point of attack. They do a good job pursuing on the backside, so they can impact your run game as well. And of course, it's what gets all the attention is all the pressure production and sack production, and that's what really stands out. But it doesn't diminish the fact that they're really good rundown players as well. We've always seen that from '95 and just playing Clowney over the years with many different teams. That's always been an issue with him. It's his frame is difficult. He's got great athleticism and can make a lot of plays in the run and pass.
Can a 1 or 2, 3-yard gain, even though it doesn't look sexy or spectacular, can a lot of those together add up over the course of a game as an effective means to attack that?
Absolutely, yeah. It's of course we always want +4 in the production and get the explosive runs, but at the same time there's things that it opens up. It maybe opens up other plays off the look, or maybe slowly over time can go from 3 yards to 5 yards to 8 yards. And if you stick with it over the course of the game and your team's playing the right way and you're able to do that stuff, then there's certainly benefits. And just because a run was inefficient doesn't mean that it didn't serve a good purpose for you.
And if I can follow up just one more time on runs like that, do you think over your career, your 4 years here, you've gotten more patient with regard to that, like pounding the rock, and it's going to eventually break?
Well, we've had better opportunities as of recent than the first 2 years where, you oftentimes fairly get criticized for not running the ball enough. Well, when you're down a hefty amount, it's very difficult to stay patient there. We throw the ball a lot, so I don't feel like I'm the right person to ask, but we certainly have a plan that we go into the game, and that plan can call for a lot of different ways of play, styles of play. And I got great belief in what our production can be in the run game and who's doing it and who we're doing it with and what we're asking them to do. And we feel very comfortable turning to that as a way to create a victory.
There's been a lot of conversation about grass versus turf fields. I think Pete Carroll's kind of talked about it recently. What are your thoughts on kind of the playing surfaces and kind of how they've kind of in the conversation dialogue around that around the league?
Yeah, we got a great turf field, and we play well on it. And you'd have to ask our players how they feel about playing on it, but it serves us really well. And so I don't have any thoughts beyond that.
From a safety, I think a lot of it's about safety stuff for me. Is that
Yeah, I'm not trying to knock on wood here, but for us, we've done well on both surfaces, and I enjoy playing on our field, and I think our players do too. But you'd have to ask them.
Zach, I know it's only 30% chance of rain. Joe Burrow told us. What's your level of confidence with Evan and kicking in the rain? And how does a kicker get ready for potentially a game in the rain? I don't think last year you guys played in the rain with him kicking. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's a good question. For me, it's a little far out. I know what the forecast is, but I always wait till we get a little closer to dial in on what that's going to look like. I think one of the unique things that Darren and Colt do is they get a bunch of sprinklers and they turn them all on, and they all dance around, and then Evan kicks for them all. But to answer your real question, there's plenty of times we've had practices that goes not just for kicking but throwing and carrying the football, where you might only get opportunities on May 22nd to deal with a rain practice, or August 15th in a rain. That might be it. And so we tried our best to utilize those moments to tell the team this may be it. You might not get another one until Monday night at Cleveland, and so you got to do your best to practice a lot of different things: throwing the ball, catching the ball, securing the ball, your footing, kicking, punting, knowing that we can't recreate. Our indoor is phenomenal, but we don't yet have the it can rain on you in the indoor, and simulate all the different weather patterns. But someday maybe, who knows? But so you just have to take advantage of that. I'll never forget, his Peyton Manning had a preseason clip where he was not in the game, and I remember it started raining. He's taking snaps on the sidelines because guys like that they understand the opportunities are few and far between to actually do it. And it stuck out to me. I was in Miami, so it must have been somewhere between 2012 and 2015. But that just kind of goes to show you that veteran quarterbacks, they understand those opportunities don't always come up. You got to take advantage of them, and same goes for kickers.
Zach, maybe Joe Burrow completing 81% of his passes can't be repeated every single week, but certainly I would have to imagine, does that open up things for you guys offensively, the way he's been playing, just understanding kind of what he can do for this offense right now?
It's not a new understanding for us. That's what things called for last week, and he was awesome at it. And we know that we have a lot of confidence when he's throwing the football and making decisions, and a big part of every play. And then but again, it's just because one team played one scheme doesn't necessarily mean all of that carries over to the next week. So those are just the decisions that we always have to make before we go into a new opponent. They have new challenges from a personnel standpoint at different positions. And they have new challenges schematically. And so, again, it always feels good to throw for whatever we threw for and have all that production we had. And then we make the decisions early in the week on what elements of that carry over and what things need to change. And then we can play the game and see how it unfolds.
I know it's only week 8, but are you deep enough into a season, kind of bouncing off that, where you can kind of say we can win these kind of different ways? We've proven that, and our guys believe that now going into it.
Yeah, I think our guys definitely believe that. And I hate to reference last year, but last year we had to do that at times, and there's times when you just need to grind it out and pick your poison in the pass game on when you want to utilize that. And again, that comes for a lot of different reasons. That could come matchup problems with the rush. If you face teams where you got an injury and that's where it's real strength for them, then you got to play a certain way to find a team win. And so again, that changes every week, and those are the decisions that we always have to make.
What do you see from Jacoby Brissett? I guess he was 22 of 27 last week, very efficient.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
That's what I see from him, is really strong in the pocket, so hard to bring down, does a good job extending when he needs to, very smart, so he finds the matchups and goes at it. Really does a good job just operating their offense and can put them in a position to win. You look at all their losses, aside from the New England game, which was 3-3 with 3 minutes left in the half. Those games have all come down to the wire. That could have easily gone either way. I mean, this is really, if you look at the scope of their games, could be a 6-1 team without any question, just the way that their games have finished at the very end. And so he's done a really good job putting them in a position to do that. Sometimes they've been unfortunate, just the way the last play of the game has played out. But I think that I've got a lot of respect for him, the job he does. It's obvious why they believe in him and have allowed him to do the things he does. 22-27 is very difficult to do in this league, especially against that defense they went against. And so, he can put this team in a position to win. He does a great job managing them.
Do you feel like this is a matchup that, because of the history between the offense and their defense, is one that kind of your playmakers relish going into a game like this?
I think that they know how important these divisional games are, and stepping up to the plate and being guys that we can rely on, which we do, but they know more so these big moments when you're facing good teams. We need our playmakers to step up and rise up to the challenge, and they always do. And this week is no different. I think these guys like playing on prime time. They'll be ready. Every player in this league likes that. And so now we just got to do a good job of putting them in a position to where they can go make the plays that require for us to win.
Playing on Halloween, you have a favorite Halloween candy or candies?
I thought you were going to ask for a favorite Halloween moment, and I don't think anyone in this room wants to hear that. But it was 2013. Is that the year? Yeah, 2013 Bengals Dolphins was the best Halloween I've had. Now that's changed. I hate that game now. That was a terrible game. But Favorite Halloween candy, not candy corn. Kit Kat, maybe. Kit Kat.
What about at the Taylor palatial estate? What are you gonna get out on Monday?
You never been to my house.
I mean, I'll come over if you want.
I don't know that I have no idea. I won't be there. I've never been there. I don't think. So that's a good question. I'll have to check on the Ring doorbell to see what we served.
That game you referenced featured the Giovanni Bernard
Sure did.
serpentine run.
Yep.
What was that like from the opposite perspective?
Like all great plays, when the other team's offense on the field, I was sitting on the bench, not seeing anything, and so saw the replay up on the jumbotron, and um, you're in your quarterback world in terms of evaluations in the draft. But I'd worked with the guy Randy Jordan, who had coached running backs at North Carolina, so I was aware of Gio Bernard because Randy had coached him. He's out the Washington Commanders. So I remember thinking, oh, Randy coached that guy. He's a pretty good player. And so that was kind of when Gio burst on the scene for me. I knew who he was beforehand, but that was really, man, this guy's being productive in the NFL right now. And lo and behold, he's always been productive, but had a great career so far. It tastes terrible.
Following up on primetime games, are road primetime games especially tough given what's always a crazy atmosphere, the long wait, etc.?
I think our guys have done a good job handling those waits, and because that is the interesting part of things. You're in a hotel, so we try to do our best to occupy their time, but not overdo it, because we all hate that. But our guys have come out, and again, in moments like these, I always expect the best from our guys. We've been in a lot of these big games on big stages, and I've always got full confidence in our guys to step up to the plate and expect that they will on Monday.
I was hesitant to ask you about a specific play 2 years ago, but you just talked about one from 9 years ago. So do you remember the play in Cleveland when Jonah basically saved Joe Burrow's life?
Yeah.
What do you remember about that play, and how difficult is that for a guy to be locked up on a premier guy like Garrett and come off and
Yeah.
hit that shit?
We were hot, and so they dropped, and the other side was we were on a choice route by the back, and so I think that where he expected to be able to go with it was taken away maybe by the drop end, and so then we weren't able to beat the hot on the other side with the throw. And Joan, I don't remember specifically how that unfolded, but I think he took the hit off and enabled Joe to escape, and we must have had a out in a corner, I believe, and he found us a completion there. So that was heads up play by Jonah, because that wasn't his responsibility. And a great job by Joe extending the play. And who did he throw it to? T?
I don't remember.
T or Auden, maybe.
It was T.
I think it was T. Yeah. I
How
think
has-
TV was even more open though, but he couldn't quite. They weren't quite on the same page.
I think it was Jonah's second career start. I mean, how has he handled Miles over the years?
I don't like to get into those comparisons. Jonah's got a lot of confidence. We got a lot of confidence in Jonah. He plays against so many great pass rushers and always rises up to the challenge and gives us what we need to win. So I expect this week he's going to step up. Now, Myles Garrett doesn't always line up on the left anymore. These last 2 weeks he's been on the right, and so that's a change from every year that I've ever played him, where he's consistently been either inside or typically on the left. So that's a big change for those guys in terms of how they've utilized him. So you got to get a feel for that as the game goes. So that's going to be LC and Jonah. And the other one gets Jadeveon. So there you go.